A hotel brief. A hotel is a place to stay for a while when we are traveling or just staying for a few days, not to be lived in for a long time like a house. Hotels have a story that is closely related to the history of civilization. They are facilities that offer hospitality to guests that have been proven since the beginning of biblical times. The Greeks developed thermal beds in village designer for rest and healing. Later, the Romans built mansions to provide accommodation for travelers on government affairs. The Romans were the first to develop hot springs in England, Switzerland, and in the Middle East. Later, the religious order built inns, hospitals, and infirmaries to cater for those on the go. Ranging posts were set up for government transportation and as rest stops. They provide shelter and allow horses to be replaced more easily. Many shelters then sprang up for pilgrims and crusaders on their way to the Holy Land. Traveling became increasing dangerous. At the same time, gradually, a plague through most of Europe. Some of these remain famous. For example, Auberge destroys Rose in Basel, which dates back to the Middle Age. The start of the hotel industry in France. At the beginning of the 15th century, the law required that hotels keep a register. English law also introduced rules for inns at that time. At the same time, around 1,500 thermal spaces were developed at Caltbrand and Meribeth. During this epoch, more than 600 inns were registered in England. Their architecture often consists of a paved interior coach with access through an access porch. The bedrooms were located on the two sides of the courtyard. The kitchen and the public rooms at the front, and the stable and storehouse at the back. The first guide for travelers were published in France during this period, and Paris in the times of Louis X1V. The place fandom offered the first example of a multi-place as architectural complex, where the classical facades accommodate boutique, officer apartment, and also hotels. In Japan, ryokan guest houses are sprung up. In India, the government-run dark bungalows provide reliable accommodation for travelers.